the shocking true story. There are great football players, there are Hall of Famers, and then there are players who changed the sport forever. Few athletes in the history of professional football reshaped the game the way Lawrence Taylor did. Quarterbacks feared him. Offensive coordinators redesigned entire blocking schemes because of him. And fans watched in disbelief as he dominated the NFL like no defensive player ever had before. Taylor wasn't just good, he was unstoppable. But his story isn't just about greatness. It's also about chaos, addiction, scandal, and redemption. Because the same man who became the most feared linebacker in football history also battled demons that nearly destroyed everything he built. This is the rise, fall, and life of one of the most complicated legends the NFL has ever seen. In 1981, the New York Giants drafted a linebacker out of the University of North Carolina with the second overall pick in the NFL draft. His name was Lawrence Taylor. The Giants desperately needed help on defense. Just a year earlier, they had finished with a miserable 4-12 record. But no one, not even the Giants themselves, could have predicted what was about to happen. From the moment Taylor stepped onto the field in his rookie season, it was obvious something was different. He was faster than offensive linemen, stronger than tight ends, and far more explosive than most linebackers. Taylor lined up on the outside, staring down opposing quarterbacks like a predator waiting for the snap. And once the ball was hiked, chaos began. Taylor started all 16 games in 1981. His stat line was incredible. 9.5 sacks, 133 tackles, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 2 forced fumbles. But statistics alone didn't capture the impact. Quarterbacks were suddenly getting hit from blind angles they had never worried about before. Offensive tackles couldn't keep up with Taylor's speed. Coaches began double-teaming him, sometimes even triple-teaming him. And still, it didn't work. By the end of the season, Taylor had accomplished something that had never happened before in NFL history. He won NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, NFL Defensive Player of the Year. No rookie had ever done that before, and no rookie has done it since. The Giants improved from 4-12 to 9-7, earning their first playoff appearance since 1963. And suddenly the NFL had a new nightmare. Lawrence Taylor was famous for his incredible strength and intense training regimen. Known for bench pressing up to 395 pounds, he built the power that made him one of the most dominant defensive players in football. His workouts focused heavily on explosive pass rush drills, helping him develop the speed and technique needed to shed blockers and pressure quarterbacks. Taylor's preparation supported his aggressive playing philosophy, often described as living on the edge, which redefined the linebacker position by combining speed, power, and sharp mental instincts. Even late in his career, during his 11th season in 1991, Taylor increased his training intensity, pushing himself to stay in peak condition despite battling injuries. Over the next decade, Lawrence Taylor didn't just dominate football, he redefined defense itself. Before Taylor, linebackers were expected to stop the run and occasionally rush the passer. Taylor changed that forever. He turned the outside linebacker position into a full-time pass-rushing weapon. His speed off the edge forced teams to rethink their entire offensive philosophy. Left tackles became some of the most valuable players on the field. Quarterbacks started taking shorter drops. Tight ends were forced to stay in and block. All because of one man, Lawrence Taylor. Between 1981 and 1993, Taylor built one of the most decorated defensive careers in NFL history. Over 13 seasons with the New York Giants, he recorded 132.5 official sacks, 1,088 tackles, 33 forced fumbles, 9 interceptions, 2 defensive touchdowns, and his list of accolades was just as staggering. Taylor became 10-time Pro Bowler, 10-time All-Pro, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and the 1986 NFL MVP for the cherry on top of an already legendary career. Winning MVP as a defensive player is incredibly rare. Only a handful of defenders have ever done it, but in 1986, Taylor was so dominant that voters had no choice. He wasn't just the best defensive player in the league, he might have been the best player in football, period. The 1986 season cemented Taylor's legacy. That year, he led the Giants defense with 20.5 sacks and terrorized offenses across the league. Quarterbacks often changed plays at the line just to avoid his side of the field. But even that didn't work. Taylor had speed, power, and an almost supernatural instinct for the ball. He could anticipate plays before they happened. That season ended with the Giants winning Super Bowl 22, 39-25, defeating the Denver Broncos. 4 years later, Taylor and the Giants did it again in Super Bowl 25 against the Buffalo Bills, winning 20-19. The Giants' defense, with Taylor as the anchor, forced the Bills to rely on their kicker, Scott Norwood. The kick was no good, but for the Giants, it was all good. By the early 1990s, there was no debate. Lawrence Taylor had become the greatest linebacker in NFL history, but behind the scenes, something dark was happening. Taylor later admitted that he started using cocaine during his second NFL season. At first, it was recreational, parties, nightlife, the celebrity lifestyle that came with being one of the biggest stars in sports. But addiction doesn't stay recreational forever. Over time, the drug began taking control. Taylor would sometimes stay up all night partying before games. He admitted he often played while exhausted, yet somehow he still dominated. That's how extraordinary his talent was. Even at less than 100%, he was still the most dangerous defender in the NFL. Ay caramba! But eventually, the consequences arrived. In 1988, the NFL suspended Taylor for 30 days due to substance abuse violations. The league was beginning to crack down on drug use, and Taylor had become one of the most high-profile examples. Still, when he returned, he kept playing at an elite level. But the lifestyle continued, and the damage was slowly building. By 1993, after 13 seasons in the NFL, Taylor finally retired. His career numbers were legendary. His reputation on the field was untouchable, and in 1999, Taylor was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It should have been the perfect ending, but instead, it was only the beginning of the most turbulent chapter of his life. After leaving the NFL, Taylor moved into entertainment. His larger-than-life personality made him a natural fit for television and movies. He appeared in several films, including The Waterboy, Any Given Sunday, Shaft. He also made TV appearances on shows like The Sopranos and Married with Children. In 2009, he even competed on Dancing with the Stars. Perhaps his most unusual moment in entertainment came years earlier. LT versus Bam Bam. In 1995, Taylor stepped into the world of professional wrestling. At WrestleMania 11, he faced wrestler Bam Bam Bigelow in the main event. Many fans expected the match to be a celebrity stunt. Instead, it turned out surprisingly good. Taylor trained with Kevin Nash and stunned the crowd by delivering a flying forearm smash that helped him win the match. For a brief moment, it looked like Taylor had successfully transitioned into a new career. But behind the scenes, the old demons were still there. Ah man, here we go again. Throughout the late 1990s and 2000s, Taylor's legal problems began to pile up. There were multiple arrests tied to drug use. Financial problems also followed. In 1999, Taylor filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy to avoid losing his home in New Jersey. Thankfully, the mental toughness LT displayed on the field helped him to move forward from his battles off the field. In the early 2000s, a series of events happened which led to Taylor facing once again legal troubles. I won't go into the details so I don't take away from the NFL legacy of LT. In 2019, he moved to Florida for a fresh start and has been living there ever since. Today, Lawrence Taylor is 67 years old and living in Florida. Despite everything, Taylor still appears at public events and football gatherings. He supports the Lawrence Taylor Foundation and occasionally speaks about his career. He's also active on social media, often referring to his fan base as LT territory. And even now, decades after retiring, Taylor still has strong opinions about the sport he once dominated. In early 2026 interviews, he criticized modern NFL rules, arguing that the game has become too soft. To Taylor, football today doesn't resemble the brutal physical sport he played. And in many ways, he might be right, because the modern NFL was shaped by the very type of player Lawrence Taylor represented. Despite the controversies, the football legacy of Lawrence Taylor remains undeniable. Many analysts believe he is the greatest defensive player in NFL history. He forced teams to reinvent offensive strategy. He changed how linebackers are used, and he turned pass rushing into an art form. Players like Michael Strahan, DeMarcus Ware, and T.J. Watt, along with many other NFL legends, followed the blueprint Taylor created. Without Lawrence Taylor, the modern edge rusher might not exist. But his story is also a reminder of something else. Talent alone isn't enough. Fame can amplify both greatness and self-destruction. Lawrence Taylor's life reads like a sports movie. An unstoppable rookie, a decade of dominance, Super Bowl glory, Hall of Fame immortality, then addiction, legal battles, scandal, and a complicated legacy. He was a revolutionary athlete who changed the NFL forever, but he was also a flawed human being battling demons that followed him long after the cheering stopped. The story of Lawrence Taylor isn't just about football, it's about the thin line between greatness and collapse, and how even legends can fall. But whether people love him or criticize him, one truth remains undeniable. There will never be another Lawrence Taylor. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time on The Gridiron.